Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, today I'm going to be making a blueberry water kefir, and I'm going to show you how I do that. Now, if you've never worked with water kefir before, the one thing you're going to need to get started very first off is your water kefir grains. Now, I got mine from Posy Mom through Amazon, and I'm going to give you a link to that below. I'm very, very happy with these water kefir grains. They were active like from the moment I got them. Much better than the first set I got years ago, and they just never really seemed to get very active, and they were a dehydrated type, and yeah, it took a long process. Well, these were just right away. First time right out of the package, I was able to get water kefir. So I highly recommend them, and I'll put that link below so you can check that out. And you'll need those to start off with. Now, the only other thing, once you have your water kefir going, you need is your filtered rainwater or spring water, just anything but tap water, or I should say anything but city water, and some sugar of some sort, any kind you want. I can't guarantee how honey would work in this. I know with some things you have to be careful with raw honey because it can kill your bacteria that makes it ferment, but and other things it works great. So I would experiment with a little bit of it first, and after you get your kefir grains going really good, before you try the honey, because I personally don't know, I haven't tried it yet because I've been too nervous. However, I do use organic cane sugar. I know that brown sugar is really good. Again, you'll want to go with the organic. Getting the molasses in there is really good for you anyway. So then you can simply make this with just vanilla or drink it straight however you want. Or you can do what I'm going to do today, and that is add fruit or whatever types of flavoring, cinnamon, ginger, anything you want. It's really a very simple process. So what I have here, this is the kefir grains I've got. They've already doubled in size. I haven't had them that long, and they've already doubled in amount since I got them. So now I'm making this in half-gallon jars instead of just quart jars. Then eventually I'll have to separate them out and give them away or sell them or something. So anyway, I didn't fill the jar up all the way on purpose, but this is nice and active. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to get to this step after I do this part. So it's going to be kind of in reverse order, but you're going to want to start with the second step first if you're just getting started on your kefir. What I have here is just over a cup of blueberries, and I'm going to put this in my blender, and I'm just going to blend them up, obviously. Alright, so I got my blueberries all blended up. I'm going to add them right in here directly to my next jar. Get all that goodness out of there. Now you can choose to add the kefir to the blender, the water kefir. Now the next thing I want to do is strain the kefir grains out of the liquid here. So I'm using a nylon mesh strainer for this. I'm not sure about stainless steel. Apparently it doesn't affect bacteria and stuff. It doesn't kill it, but I was always taught to use something like glass or plastic when dealing with fermenting things. So I'm sticking with this for now. And I'm just going to pour this directly in here. Now I've done this before where I've actually poured the, see, and that's why I didn't fill it entirely up with water, because I knew once I added my berries in, it was going to fill that up a little farther. Now you can choose to top this off with water if you want. Now look at the bubbles forming here. So water kefir gives you another form of a carbonated type beverage. Just like if you saw my other video on how to make your own natural soda, this is just another way you can do it. Now what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put them back in this jar and spill them on the counter while I'm at it. And then I'll get to what I'll do with these next. But first, going to stir this up really good. Now you've got a few options here. You can choose to add sugar to this, and just to make it a little bit sweeter. Now yesterday I made some of this and I didn't add any sugar, and we just drank it right away. Today I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, just a little bit, and that is only to help kind of get it real active, since I basically diluted a little bit with the blueberries. And I want to stir that up. A chopstick works really good for this, but I forgot to get one out and have it handy. Again, I try to, you know, or anything that's wooden, or preferably not metal, especially not aluminum. You do not want to use aluminum with anything like this. And now I'm just going to put a tight fitting lid on this. And then I'm going to let that ferment for a few more hours so that will get real good and bubbly, and then I'm going to chill it, and I'm going to serve it over ice. Now I'm going to insert a picture right here, and that is the blueberry kefir I made yesterday served over ice, and look how yummy that looks. It's really, really good stuff. Now I made this the last week using some raspberries from our garden from 2015. These ones I've got thawing out because I'm actually going to use these to make some more popsicles for Mr. Rain. And you can find a video on how to make your own creamsicles out of fruit right up here. All right, so now this would actually be the first process you'd want to do when you get your kefir grains. You want to make sure you get them good and active. And so, or anytime you're starting a new batch. Now, technically, you're supposed to dissolve your sugar in your water before you add your kefir grains. I don't bother with that. I just add it right to the jar with the kefir grains, just like that. They have to have that sugar to get active. When you're talking about fermenting, and I said this in my natural soda video, which you can also find right up here or in the end card, you have to have the sugar of some sort. It doesn't have to be cane sugar. It can be other types of sugar. I tried this with coconut sugar. That works too. I wasn't thrilled with the taste, and that's why I went back to just the blonde, organic, evaporated cane sugar. But you have to have the sugar. Remember, the bacteria digest the sugar, so you're not really getting all that sugar content in your water kefir or in your natural soda, whatever kind you choose to use. I'm gonna get my bamboo chopstick. It's one of my favorite things for stirring when it comes to stuff like this. Or you can use a skinny bamboo spoon. And oops, it's empty. I had to grab a second jug because I ran out there. That's okay. I keep several jugs of filtered rainwater ready to go. All times. So now I'm just going to take my chopstick and stir that in really good. I mean, this is all room temperature, so it really doesn't take long for the sugar to dissolve. I think that part of the reason people don't add the grains is because they like to heat their water first, you know, with the sugar to help it dissolve faster. But this dissolves good enough just like this. I have not had any issues with the sugar dissolving. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cloth. It can be a dish rag, whatever, just anything that will allow it to breathe. Put a rubber band over it, and I'm going to let it sit for a good 24 hours. And it should be pretty bubbly by tomorrow at this time. And I'm going to set it aside. You want to keep it in a fairly warm place. Now, once you put the lid on, I suggest letting it ferment for at least 24 hours without the cover on it. You can let it go longer. If you want it really bubbly, put a tight lid on it. That's why I did this here. So I can let this sit for a few hours. I can let it basically do a second ferment for another 24 hours. I don't like it really strongly fermented, so I'm just letting this sit for a few hours to get good and bubbly. I like it bubbly, but I prefer it not too strong of a ferment. Because I'm just really sensitive to even the smallest amount of alcohol content, so I like to keep it as mild as possible. But this is going to be really good later in the day. So just letting it sit at room temperature for a few more hours, then I'll put it in the fridge, or I can serve it immediately over ice. Now, other options you can do if you don't want a fruit base is you can simply just add a little bit of vanilla to your kefir once it's all ready to go. Strain out your grains, then add your vanilla and stir it in. Add a little bit more sugar or honey at that point, whatever you want to sweeten it if you feel it needs it. And you'll have basically kind of a cream soda if you do it that way. Other options are cinnamon and ginger, or just a ginger, like a ginger ale. And ginger is actually another good one to help it ferment. I even had pieces of ginger in there for a while and then I took them out. But you can do both. All right, one thing I almost forgot to say is that you will have noticed that I did not strain out the pulp because I believe in getting the whole fruit. Juicing is great, but I think if you're gonna do that, you're better off. That's why if I was gonna do that, I'd get more into smoothies. So I don't get into making smoothies. However, getting all of your fruits and vegetables in their whole form is really important. However, if you don't like pulp, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going ahead and straining out the pulp out of your whatever juice you have. Because I know some people, they don't like seeds, especially when it comes to strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, those kind of things. But even those seeds, especially those seeds, they're really, really good for you. So if you can handle it, I suggest leaving all that stuff in there so you can get all those good nutrients that are inside the seeds and the skins and all that stuff. Whichever way you want to do it, or that you can get a healthier drink into your family, then go with what works best for you. All right, so there you have it. There's a good, natural, healthy, probiotic drink for you to serve to your family during these warm summer months that are coming up, that will replace the soda. So you can toss out all the soda, get your kids off that stuff, get yourself off that stuff, and go to something that's natural and good for you, and it's gonna help your gut heal up and be good and healthy. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you learned something new. Thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.